A full week has passed since the devastating earthquake hit Türkiye and Syria. Yet, rescuers and survivors are left at risk from aftershocks. For more, we turn to Professor Kim Byung-min from Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology. Welcome to the program.
Nice to meet you. My name is Byung-min Kim.
Welcome to the program. Before we get to the aftershocks, let's first talk about the initial earthquakes. So 7.8 and 7.5 magnitude earthquakes taking place in a row are a rare phenomenon. What made such two big ones come back to back, just 9 hours apart?
Yes, you are right. The two earthquakes occurring in a short period of time, it's a very rare event. But scientists and engineers recently recognized the possibility of the earthquake sequences, and they are doing research about it. When an earthquake occurs, the accumulated energy within the rock is suddenly released. Then the other parts of the rock should take that energy. The energy does not disappear, but it tries to find another place to stay. So if the energy is distributed to a wider area, the probability of the next big earthquake is low. But if the energy is concentrated in a small area, it can trigger another big earthquake.
Right, and now speaking of earthquakes back to back, now there are thousands of rounds of aftershocks reported after the two quakes that hit the region. Do you see more coming? I mean, how long do they last normally?
Yes, I think there will be lots of aftershocks. The aftershocks will maybe last for a year or longer. There can be hundreds and thousands of aftershocks with magnitudes greater than 3. And also, there can be several aftershocks with magnitudes greater than 5. There were already a few big aftershocks, but there can be more within the next few months. The structures and infrastructure are already damaged from the main shock and a couple of major aftershocks. So the aftershocks, even if their magnitudes are smaller, they can further destroy the buildings.
Right, and that's so much more burden on already devastated area. Now, following the earthquake, there are concerns that a major quake could be further west in the heavily populated city of Istanbul. How likely is the scenario? I mean, how can we prepare?
There are two major faults in Türkiye. The northern Anatolian fault, and the other is Eastern Anatolian fault. In the 20th century, there were earthquakes with magnitude greater than 7 that occurred on northern fault. Those earthquakes actually moved to the west, and this time, but these earthquakes occurring on eastern fault. So this time the condition is a little bit different from the earthquakes in the 20th centuries. But we cannot rule out the possibility of earthquakes occurring, propagating to the west, particularly to Istanbul. So the recent earthquakes occurred on the eastern edge of the Anatolian plate, and the Istanbul is on the northern eastern edge of the plate. So if these earthquakes trigger the movement of entire plate, there can be earthquakes near Istanbul. So we need actually very careful investigation, considering all the possibilities.
Right, but the thing is, Professor, earthquakes in many cases come with no prior notice. But what should you do if you get an earthquake early warning alert, and what action should we take when an earthquake actually hits?
Yes, earthquakes are really unfortunate events, and they are actually unpredictable and unavoidable. If you can get an earthquake early warning, that is actually very fortunate. So once you get it, first you need to protect yourself from the falling objects. You need to actually drop down your body to the floor, and you have to cover your head by table or your arms or other things. And you need to hold on until the shaking stops. Once the shaking stops, you need to evacuate yourself outside the building to the area furthest from the buildings. As you saw from these Turkish earthquakes, the buildings actually kill people. So you need to stay away from the building. You have to stay in the safety area until the major aftershocks stop. So most importantly, you like to actually I just want to emphasize that we need to change our mindset so that we are aware of that earthquake can happen anytime. Then you can prepare for it, by doing the image training or actual drills.
Right, especially when it comes to earthquake, it's really hard to prevent from making it from happening, right?
Right, that's right.
Right, all right. Thank you so much for your thorough insight this morning.
Thank you.